We have a co-host named Lil House Phone, and for the
Okay.
record, he doesn't actually like do a lot of ketamine. I think he's done it before, but he's not like a big ketamine guy. He's more of a coke guy, realistically.
Okay.
But for some reason, we just always make the ketamine joke to him, and he made a song that was like, "I'm off the ketamine."
Okay.
And so, we always kind of give him a hard time about it. But then in reality, we don't actually know anything about ketamine. So give me the full picture of what this is like as a drug.
Ketamine, the main way I do it is I do lines of it or bumps. But there is liquid ketamine as well, which makes for an interesting experience. But ketamine is a strange drug because it's like a totally different drug depending on the dose.
Okay.
If you do like a little key bump of it, it almost feels like you're crossfaded, like you had a few drinks and you're stoned. It gives you this really like warm, kind of energized, like chill feeling. It gives you almost like a sense of tranquility. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it is a tranquilizer.
Yeah, it is a tranquilizer. They use it at the vet. But it feels good in lower doses, but once you pass a certain point of doing a certain amount, which is a very thin line, like you can do even one bump more and cross the line from like just buzzed to K-hold, and that's when it gets kind of spooky,
right?
Because once you pass that point, you lose almost full control of yourself.
Really? So when they say K-hole, you'll just be sort of like,
so no, you'll be conscious.
Okay.
But
you're
like
just
you'll
stuck.
be, let's say you're thinking of something to say, you'll try to say it and the words won't come out. You won't be able to move your limbs as easily. I mean, I've had points where I literally couldn't move my arms,
Right.
I was stuck. At least for me, I would get this almost like black border around my vision, like you've seen in like the movies or the video games when like someone's waking up, it's in like first person, almost like that, like you got that little border around your vision. And it just feels like you're trapped almost in a way. I know some people that love it. I don't know how you could love it. But I know some people that really enjoy that feeling.
You, it's one of those drugs that you kind of just do because it exists, but then when you do it, you're like, I don't really want to keep doing this.
So I would do it mainly because in small doses it feels so good, But it just requires walking a very fine line before you K-hole yourself.
I had some friends in the UK where there were these BMX dudes, and it's
big over there.
You would go to their fucking crib, and they would have a fucking big ass pile of coke and a big ass pile of Ket.
Yeah.
And would you like go back and forth? Because the way you're describing the ketamine makes it sound like a great way to balance out the coke, at least in the short term.
I would try to avoid combining ketamine and coke, but what I would combine is Molly and coke.
Oh, yeah.
I would do that a lot. I would crush up my Molly and do Molly and coke lines.
But I mean, they're kind of similar in
a sense, but
in a way.
Molly gives you that extra little euphoria boost, that extra little dopamine kick.
You feel like when you were getting Molly, it was good shit. It wasn't just meth.
No, I was definitely getting some good shit.
Okay. Off of what, the dark web or
yeah,
just no people? That
pretty much
Molly, is that the move?
Yeah. I mean, well, maybe not nowadays. But back in the day, yeah, that shit was the play.
But you don't do the dark web thing anymore?
No, I mean, I haven't done any of those drugs in a while, honestly. I've been trying to just keep it to my acid and my weed.
Right.
But with the acid, I've had a stockpile for a little bit,
But the government is just powerless to stop people from fucking continuing to do the dark web?
Well, the main thing is they can't filter all of the mail well enough to stop something like that,
Right.
And looking through the X-ray, I mean, for example, acid is like super easy to ship because it's just a strip of paper.
Yeah, that's gotta be the easiest.
Yeah. Oh, it comes in like a letter, bro. Sometimes they'll just write like a poem and then like fold it around the tabs and put something on them and just ship it. I mean. But in general, I feel like they can't process enough of the mail.
Right.
And pretty much everything that's shipped nowadays is smell-proofed anyway, so the canines don't really do shit at this point. And at those facilities, they just walk dogs around that shit and X-ray it, which you got a Mylar bag, they're not going to see through it. You're chilling.
Right. And if you do get caught receiving, it's not that big a deal, right?
That's
How big a deal is it?
It's pretty illegal.
But they can't prove that you bought it.
So...
if you're smart.
So the thing is, if you accept the package, this is what I'm, at least what I know of. But if you accept the package, then you're in trouble. Like if you open it and take it. But if you let's say you don't take it, or they bust in your house and you haven't opened it yet, they won't, they can't do anything.
Yeah, what if you get it
and just leave it in your house for a few days? For like a week.
Now, let me just say that there are no fucking drug users on Earth who are going to be able to control themselves enough to not open their Silk Road package.
Imagine having a box with like a pound of weed in that shit, and you can't open it for a week.
And
dude.
you don't know if it's going to be the thing you ordered or if it's going to be some bullshit.
Yeah,
right?
It's going to be good or bad too. Like you have no idea, and you're sitting there waiting. I mean, not many people are willing to do that.
Right. But okay, so with ketamine.
Yep.
Why do you think it appeals to so many fucking hipster ass party chicks out here? Why has it become such a rage?
It's a cheap drug because you don't have to do very much of it to get fucked up.
Right.
And it's a very unique feeling. Like it's a really good party drug.
Right.
In low doses, it really is a super good party drug. I'm not really the kind of guy who goes to like those EDM shows and concerts like that, but I know people who do, and all of them do hella ketamine. They love that shit.
Right.
I think that shit's probably better for shows than like acid, personally. Cause
you see people ruining their lives off ketamine? Like, is it going to take you down, or is it like the other drugs that you might be doing along with it are more likely?
The people that I know don't really necessarily like exclusively do ketamine. Right.
I feel like everybody who does it is doing a bunch of other shit that's more dangerous than it.
So I don't know if I'd say the ketamines were doing it,
right.
But in general, people who do ketamine usually do hella drugs, because I feel like if you're like a someone who doesn't do a lot of drugs, you're not going to hear about a tranquilizer and be like, let me get that shit.
But it's weird too, because I see fucking ketamine ads on Instagram and shit now.
They do ketamine therapy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a little different though. I think they use like less of it.
It's got to be way less.
And
right?
I think they IV it.
Like when they start doing like MDMA therapy and shit, it's gonna be like 1% of any amount that any Molly head has ever done.
Well, MDMA is so bad for you.
Really?
It's so bad for you.
Is it? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's really bad for your brain.
They used to act like it was the fucking perfect drug.
Oh, far from it.
Really?
Far from it. Yeah, MDMA is really bad for you. I don't know if there is anything close to the perfect drug nowadays.
Really?
A lot of my subs have been telling me to try to get Quaaludes.
You never got one?
No, I've never done Ludes.
Wow.
I mean, I'm 23, dude. Ludes were gone before I was even born.
You know who I was just kicking it with, who allegedly, well, he said it in his book, but he has like, I think 4 Quaaludes in his possession, was Dan Bilzerian.
How much money you think those are worth?
I don't know, but okay, so Jordan Belfort, a.k.a. the Wolf of Wall Street.
Yep.
I believe that I'm getting the story right. In Dan Bilzerian's book, he said that Jordan Belfort came to his house for a party or some shit, and found out that Dan Bilzerian owns some Quaaludes, and was like trying his hardest to get them, to get Dan to give it up or to fucking buy them or whatever, and Dan would not part with them. Since Dan doesn't need money, so
I mean I don't blame him, honestly. Right. Like that's like one of the wonders of the world at this point. I mean, like I'm pretty sure from what I've read online, they still make them in South Africa, but they're not the same.
Really?
They're not like name brand Quaaludes, but it's the same drug.
I don't think Jordan Belfort would give a fuck about the South African version. I think he wants those ones that he was fucking railing back in the day, right?
Yes, he wants the OG ones. It's like people who want oxys. They're not very common nowadays, but like. People don't really want to settle for other shit.
But do you, when it comes to Quaaludes, do you think anything happens to a pill after like 40 years or whatever?
I don't know, because like
the aspirin has an expiration date.
Yeah, but
I never know if I should believe it or not.
Yeah,
right?
What does the expiration date on a pill even mean? Like, what happens to it?
That's what I'm saying. Like, on a molecular level, what the fuck is happening?
Because really, it's not like the pill is like melting or like expiring. I mean, it's just this solid pill.
It's not a peanut butter sandwich.
How could something how could potency go down?
Right.
I don't get how that could happen.
Honestly, because I guarantee someone has made a video about this.
Yeah, there's got to be like a really in-depth.
And you can make a video with what you found.
I could do some research.
I know, that's the one shitty thing about podcasting, is that there's just, Joe Rogan's got his Jamie.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I want to like put that on our employees. Like, hey, figure out what happens to a pill if it erodes for 40 years.
Yeah, do this shit real quick.
That's a kind of specific request.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Having someone Google for you, that's a big task. Medicines have expiration dates, so you know when to use them by. After the expiration date, medicines may not be safe or as effective. You should not take medicines after expiration date. I mean, I could have guessed that was what the National Health Services were telling the world.
Yeah, that's like a very generic answer, but like...
See, that's why, Googling is not easy. It's not for everybody.
But what is like the cause, you know?
That's what I'm saying. We're going to figure it out tonight. We're going to Google it. Actually, the comments will probably just tell us, so we don't even have to Google it.
Oh, you're probably right. Yeah.
That's when I first realized, when I first seen some baller shit. Well, maybe not first, but like I was around Gary Vaynerchuk, and I realized that he doesn't even pull out his phone to Google something when they're talking about something that they don't know.
Yeah.
He just says it to one of his employees, like, "Hey, look that up."
What, really?
And I was like, "Whoa, that's a fucking boss move. I'm a total pleb out here just pulling my phone out and going to Google and typing something in."
Like looking something up for yourself. That's outdated now, I guess.
Yeah, but you have to have a lot of faith in your staff.
Yeah.
That they're going to be able to do that for you.
Yeah, do it quickly.
Oh, look at this. Certain expired medications are at risk of bacterial growth, and subpotent antibiotics can fail to treat infections, leading to more serious illness and antibiotic well, that's antibiotics. We're not doing that. We're trying to get fucked up.
What kind of bacteria, though?
You ever snort an antibiotic?
No, I don't think I have.
You know what antibiotics are? Is the thing that when you're looking through some random person's medicine cabinet, you find them.
And you get a little excited at first. You're
and
like,
it's like,
what
no,
the fuck is this?
Shit.
You see that orange and white pill bottle, and you're like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
You start to get a hard on.
Yeah.
No.
I remember when I was, I didn't do it, but when I was younger, my dog had like an anti-anxiety medication. It was basically Xanax for dogs.
Right.
And I was like really debating on snorting it. I was like, fuck.
And you didn't end up doing it.
No, I didn't. I stopped myself. But I was like, I had no money, and I was like, dude, I might try it.
Well, so Josh, who works here, he at one point, because he's my brother-in-law, him and my sister, they had my cat, rest in peace, Tony. You would love him. But they had to bring him on a plane, and so they had to give him like cat Xanax in order for him to get on the plane because he was crazy and he would be meowing nonstop the whole time. And so they did a little test run before he got on the plane, and so they give him the kitty Xanax, and he's walking around like me or you, like, ooh, like falling all over the place. Hey. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, subscribe. We just hit 200K. We're trying to get to 300K.
Turn this up.
Appreciate y'all.
Let's go.